In the book of Romans, there's a little verse that's sort of tucked inside that big book of Romans that says simply, rejoice with those who rejoice and mourn with those who mourn. I like that verse because it seems to indicate that we are to come alongside other people and help them, even through good times as well as obviously difficult times. Mourn with those who mourn. And over the years, as I've gone through, as so many of us have, the loss of loved ones and seen family and friends loss of their loved ones, there's a phrase that's pretty common that says you should just move on. Eventually, you're going to be able to move on through this grief and life will return kind of back to normal and you'll be okay again. Having gone through grief myself and seen others grieve, I realize that that phrase isn't really particularly helpful or even particularly accurate. Because honestly, I don't think we ever move on when we've lost somebody so dear to us, so important in our life. We maybe more accurately move ahead with their memory and with an element of grief. Back in 1993, I lost my father. He was 79 years of age, and it was difficult, obviously. When I left the hospital, I remembered that my son, my first child, was on the way, and my father would never see any of my children. And I can remember the emotions of certainly grief and depression and even some anger, knowing that there would be, from here out, no way to have my father enjoy the rest of my life. Difficult. A few years ago, we decided to sell the home that we lived in. My mom lived in it for 52 years, and after we sold the home and were cleaning it out, she offered to my brother and I to come and look through the house, and if there's anything that we would like to have, she wanted us to have. And there really wasn't anything in the house that spoke to me or I needed until I got into my father's closet, and we were looking through that, my brother and I, and up in the top of his closet were several boxes, hat boxes. And I remembered that my dad wore these hats all the time. He was born in 1914, and back in those days, men wore hats and coats and ties, and that was just the way he looked every day going to work. And I began to open the boxes and pull the hats out, and there were several, 3 or 4 different colors. And as I held them up kind of close to my face, I could smell my dad's smell. That smell that I remembered him by was still lingering in the hat. So I took all of those hats. My brother wasn't that interested, and I wear them constantly. I have one in my car almost all the time, and put it on occasions that are appropriate. And it reminds me of my father in a way a few things do. This tangible hat, just being able to hold it in some way is a connection still to my father. I wouldn't say that I've moved on past the thought of my father, not at all. I think of him every day. But I do feel like I've moved through the grief process. And although I grieve his loss, I can enjoy his memories. I can enjoy the things that he taught me, the things that I learned from him. And I have the hope of looking forward to see him again one day. And who knows, maybe, just maybe I'll be wearing this hat. We're honored at Sayre Christian Village to have been a part of your loved one's life. And I would say to you, as chaplain and as one representing our entire community, if we can ever help you move ahead, move through grief, that's what we're here for. That's part of what we do. We have you in our prayers, and we have you in our thoughts, and we pray that as you move forward, you will take with you part of your loved one's legacy in a way that you will always remember and enjoy.
David Gibson, Doris Ford, James Potter, William Mulliken, Jane Ball, Grace Chasteen, Ben Kurtz, Betty Linton, Evadine Abney, Armistead Leggett, Annabelle Johnson, Edith Suchio, Miriam Gender, Doris Lucas, Johnny Dameron, Barbara Pettyway, Rondell Childers, Mary Ellen Lucas, Shirley Dixon, Billy Poff, Marcia Zack, John Jack Curtis, June Jensen, Jean Meisberg, Darlene Henry, Mildred Lake, Shirley Clements, Barbara Hahn, Mary Redmond, Bertha Hoover, Nancy Norman, Isla Worrell, Ray Rowe, Gary Laws, Thelma Williamson, Helen Grubb, Joseph Kinney, Max Crocker, Cora Monahan, Judith Peterson, Josephine Fields, Jalima Hatton, Mary Colliver, Brenda Mason, Shirley Clements, Dorothy Devon, Lyndon Crockett, Helen Crockett, Kathleen Kemper, Dennis Cravens, Maddie Stinnett, Ina Wilcox, Gladys Blankenship, Anne Hunt, Alma Clark, Willa Reynolds, Donna Wainscott, Joanna Petty, Betty Atterbury, Jack Ball, Christine May, Suzanne DeMoss, Bobby Flynn, Marla Sowers, Elaine Banker, Agnes Rice, Benny Frizzell, Celia Witt, Catherine Cloud, Dee Dee Ransdell, Virgie Jones, Edward Moores, James Gorham, Judy Lydiard, Lily Pagano, Hoyt Bellamy, Helen McGuffey, Ethel Gibson, Betty Robinson, Lois Karishnikov, Donald Harmon, Harley Clemens, Philip Van Kersen, Valerie Huggins, Catherine Reed, Lois Corinne Frizzell, Beverly Graves, Gina Pentacuff, Ella Flynn, Mary Phillips, Leonard Wilson, Glenda Kitchen,